Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good, good noon day. Guess what? Miss Goldie Jones, she has presented some receipts about Kevin Samuels actually condoning domestic violence with women. So let's find out about these receipts after the introduction. Hello, everybody. I am the official Every Therapist. Um, happy what today is. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday. I know many of y'all right now. Y'all probably at work. You're probably on your lunch break. Some of y'all probably chilling in your car eating some chimichangas. You know how it is. I know how it is. Or maybe eating a 4 for 4 or whatever. But in any case, I appreciate you tuning in this special edition episode. I want to go ahead and get this episode out to you real quick because Miss Jones, Miss Goldie Jones, she posted earlier today that she actually got a receipt that is stating that Kevin Samuels is actually is for the domestic violence. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and play this receipt that she posted on her page right now, and I'll let y'all be the judge to it. Okay. So let me go ahead and get it up.
Uh,
Hey Kev, go ahead.
Go
Who
ahead.
was-
Go ahead, Jr.
Hey Kev, I got a question. Before you hopped on, we was talking about the woman's tongue. An example that I used was my sister just having no respect for the man. And I
Mm-hmm.
and I talked about how men do not have to give respect in order to receive respect. That men should just give respect off GP. Um, and I was just kind of just blown because like my sister felt the need that she not only tried to disrespect me, but when my grandfather was in the house and said he didn't want no yelling in the house, she just totally disregarded him.
Mm-hmm.
And my concern is that even in marriages, um, like relationships, and just even as strangers, that women feel that it's okay to disrespect a man. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it a couple of ways and tie it into something I heard earlier. If we can't hold anybody accountable that we are directly tied to, we can't have a community. That's a I you used to get a whooping by Mr. Brown if Mr. Brown saw you doing something wrong because you were accountable to the community, not just your mama and daddy. I'm gonna leave that sitting right there. The women don't today don't fear what Sean Connery told Barbara Walters. There are times when the best course of action is to slap a woman. That's what Sean Connery said. It's still on YouTube right now. Go look at it. And Barbara Walters was like, thought he was going to recant his statement, and he doubled down. He said, let me explain what I mean. He's like, women have a way of not knowing how to let things go. You can give up the argument. You can let it go. They can know they've won. There's nothing else to be gained, and they will continue to push and push and push. And he said, at that point, once you've exhausted all other options, then a slap becomes a good option. And you only have to do it once. Shahrazad Ali tried to say that stuff and it set the black community on fire. Why is this? Because between the men on this platform right now, if we were in public, we have to moderate what we say, whether we know each other or not, because there's a low-level threat of violence and aggression between all men. Fuck YouTube, fuck degrees, fuck money. You cross a certain line with a man, we're gonna have to shoot the fair one. We know that. You can be in a wheelchair, you can be on a crutch, whatever. You can be special. You got to do that. But see, there is no low-level threat of violence between women and men today. Women are allowed to be verbally disrespectful beyond the point of reason because there's no consequence, because they don't fear the repercussion. So listening to that, and this is why anybody familiar with the concept of domestic discipline?
No, explain it for us.
Domestic discipline in a nutshell is me and Courtney are married, and Courtney and I are vibing, but Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes. And we sit down and say, when you get on one, and after we go through the process, and I use the safe word, banana split, and you still stay on one after I say banana split. You heard me say banana split. I acknowledge you heard me say banana split, and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on the ass. Sexual spanking. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. And what I will do is I will put the links to the women who teach this stuff. And this has been talked about in sectors of the manosphere. It's adult correction.
I've never heard of that before in my entire life.
I hadn't heard of it until I got here on YouTube, but I'd heard of the concept, but I didn't hear it that way. And the thing is, it doesn't, and it's nonviolent. And here's the point. Can you imagine being a grown woman and you got to hear banana split, and you know you should have stopped and you kept on going, and then you gotta, and you volunteer, and the woman has to volunteer for this. She volunteers to do this. It's not coerced, and it doesn't rise to the point of respect. Lay down, get the paddle out. All right, now, Courtney, you know, banana split. And you just think of the psychological thing, like, I am 34 years old and I'm having to get swatted or hit with my hand. and who teaches this? Women teach other women. What was that woman's name? I'm gonna put her name down in the comment section. And I want you guys to understand the spirit in which it was saying, because this can get really misinterpreted.
Yeah, we get you. We adults.
But the thing is, the notion is that women know that the power of life and death resides in the tongue, and you use that instead of using it for our benefit, turning it against your men to the point to where you should not have to fear the venom that's potentially in the tongue of your women. Your enemy should have to fear that, not the men who share your crest.
With men than women.
Years ago, you did an interview, which may come back to haunt you. You know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Okay. You did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again and get into a really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if she gives you a good slap back?
Well, then you get into another area. I mean, then maybe she's getting to like it, and then it becomes something else. I don't know. But no, seriously, I think that it's the last resort. He's not going to do it because he wants to do it. Huh?
Wait till people see this interview. Are you going to get mail?
Might get some female.
So, so. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that everything that Kevin said was valid? Is everything that Kevin Samuels was saying is valid? That if a woman crosses the line, that you should discipline a woman. That's pretty much what he's saying, right? That you should go ahead and discipline a woman. Same way how parents would discipline a child, right? At least that's my interpretation of it. Unless I'm wrong about this. So also, is this receipt with Miss Goldie Jones, is this receipt valid? Because remember yesterday. Remember yesterday, well, not yesterday, a couple of days ago, I also did a video talking about Miss Goldie Jones' petition, right? And the whole base of her petition, she was talking about that Kevin Samuels was promoting domestic violence, and she felt that he needs to be removed. And not only that, he is pretty much motivating other men to commit these same type of domestic violent acts as well towards black women. That's the whole premises of the petition. And on her, of course, I just use my unbiased opinion. I just listened to the whole interview that she did, right? And so throughout the whole interview, I came to the conclusion that her whole premises didn't have nothing to do with the domestic violence part, but it had everything to do with that she just don't like his content, period. So, of course, today she present this receipt. She present this receipt today showing that Kevin Samuels is actually promoting domestic violence. So, at this point, do we make it valid? Do it make her stance valid? What would this stand? What would this be credible evidence? They'll end up getting Kevin Samuels removed from social media platforms. So what do y'all think about that? While y'all thinking about it, let me go ahead and invite good old Money Boy Trey up to the panel. He has something to say. What up, bro?
Hello, Urban. It's Joy.
Oh, it's Joy. Hey, Joy.
It is I too. The question that I have, because I'm just coming in and I'm a nigga, I didn't pay attention. What proof did she present that Kevin Samuels is advocating domestic violence? Because if the nigga don't say, if he ain't telling men to just go out and whoop women's ass, that's not advocating domestic violence.
Well, according to the video that I just showed, when he was on the Peel Talk Show, he was giving an example. He called it domestic discipline. That's what he called it. But when you listen to him explain it, it sounds very similar to domestic violence.
Well, can you repeat what he said? That's what I'm saying. Can you repeat what he said so I can have a firmer grasp of what she is alleging and what he actually said? Oh,
I could show the video again if you want me to.
Sure, go ahead, sir. That'll work.
I sure can, cause I don't know verbatim of what he just said, but I could pull the video right back up again.
I just had to point out I am not a Kevin Samuels advocate, but this lady seems like a feminist. And so,
clearly, hey, I agree with you. Clearly, she is. She stated that on different shows.
I have to be able to defend this brother to have the right to make a living. I'm just saying, because it's shit. We can always go to the why she ain't out on none of these rappers talking about what the fuck they do, and they actually whooping hoes in their real life. Kevin Samuels ain't got no police reports of him whooping females.
Exactly. I mean, it's what you're saying also is very valid because it's going to create this huge gap with content creators because it's going to allow censorship. To be honest,
By
but
the way,
it is.
I hadn't been sharing you out on Facebook like I normally do because I'm doing a 60-day bid.
Oh Lord, this boy done got locked up.
Been locked up for about 2 weeks now. I told you a tranny called me ugly, and I called her a ugly tranny, got me blocked. And then
Wow.
they retroactively went and found a post I did 3 days prior where I said, so women are buying sex toys with breasts and penis. I said, so do y'all like trannies? Because you know the stigma is that men like trannies. But if these women are buying sex toys that have breasts and penis, that means they like it as well. That ended up after it was up for 3-4 days, they retroactively went back, said that broke harassment and bullying guidelines, gave me another 30 days. So I'm currently like on a 60-day Facebook jail.
Now, Money Boy, you know good and well that's a protected group. You can't say nothing bad about them
Well,
without getting put in Facebook jail.
they got me fucked up. If they can call me ugly, I can call their ass ugly back. I'll take the Facebook jelly. The only time I use Facebook is to share what the fuck I'm doing on YouTube anyway. So I don't care.
let me go ahead and run this video back again so you can get the context of what Kevin Samuels talking about.
I got a question. Before you hopped on, we was talking about the woman's tongue. An example that I used was my sister just having no respect for the man. And I talked about how men do not have to give respect in order to receive respect, that men should just give respect off GP. And I was just kind of just blown because like my sister felt the need that she not only tried to disrespect me, but when my grandfather was in the house and said he didn't want no yelling in the house, she just totally disregarded him. And my concern is that even in marriages, like relationships, and just even as strangers, that women feel that it's okay to disrespect a man. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it a couple of ways and tie it into something I heard earlier. If we can't hold anybody accountable that we are directly tied to, we can't have a community. You used to get a whooping by Mr. Brown if Mr. Brown saw you doing something wrong because you were accountable to the community, not just your mama and daddy. I'm gonna leave that sitting right there. The women today don't fear what Sean Connery told Barbara Walters. There are times when the best course of action is to slap a woman. That's what Sean Connery said. It's still on YouTube right now. Go look at it. And Barbara Walters was like, thought he was going to recant his statement, and he doubled down. He said, let me explain what I mean. He's like, women have a way of not knowing how to let things go. You can give up the argument. You can let it go. They can know they've won. There's nothing else to be gained, and they will continue to push and push and push. And he said, at that point, once you've exhausted all other options, then a slap becomes a good option. And you only have to do it once. Shahrazad Ali tried to say that stuff and it set the black community on fire. Why is this? Because between the men on this platform right now, if we were in public, we have to moderate what we say, whether we know each other or not, because there's a low-level threat of violence and aggression between all men. Fuck YouTube, fuck the grease, fuck money. You cross a certain line with a man, we're going to have to shoot the fair one. We know that. You can be in a wheelchair, you can be on a crutch, whatever. You can be special. You got to do that. But see, there's no low-level threat of violence between women and men today. Women are allowed to be verbally disrespectful beyond the point of reason because there's no consequence, because they don't fear the repercussion. So listening to that, and this is why anybody familiar with the concept of domestic discipline?
No, explain it for us.
Domestic discipline in a nutshell is me and Courtney are married, and Courtney and I are vibing, but Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes. And we sit down and say, when you get on one, and after we go through the process, and I use the safe word, banana split, and you still stay on one after I say banana split. You heard me say banana split. I acknowledge you heard me say banana split, and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on our ass. Thank you. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. And what I will do is I will put the links to the women who teach this stuff. This has been talked about in Seconds of the Manosphere. It's adult correction.
I've never heard of that before in my entire life.
I hadn't heard of it till I got here on YouTube, but I'd heard of the concept, but I didn't hear it that way. And the thing is, it doesn't, and it's nonviolent. And here's the point. Can you imagine being a grown woman and you got to hear banana split, and you know you should have stopped and you kept on going, and then you gotta, and you volunteer, and the woman has to volunteer for this. She volunteers to do this. It's not coerced, and it doesn't rise to the point of respect. Lay down, get the paddle out. All right, now, Courtney, you know, banana split, and you just think of the psychological thing. Like, I am 34 years old, and I'm having to get swatted or hit with my hand. and who teaches this? Women teach other women. What was that woman's name? I'm gonna put her name down in the comment section, and I want you guys to understand the spirit in which it was saying, because this can get really misinterpreted.
Yeah, we get you. We adults.
But the thing is, the notion is that women know that the power of life and death resides in the tongue, and you use that instead of using it for our benefit, turning it against your men to the point to where you should not have to fear the venom that's potentially in the tongue of your women. Your enemy should have to fear that, not the men who share your crest.
With men than women.
Years ago, you did an interview, which may come back to haunt you. You know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Okay. You did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
Well, what would merit it?
Okay,
well,
Urban Sir.
Else.
We heard him.
Women are...
Jeez. Are you laughing? You're laughing. You're laughing, but not an advocate. Not advocating domestic violence. But aren't we the same people that say whooping your kid's ass makes a difference? If I can whoop a kid ass who has no protection and really don't know, why can't I whoop an adult's ass? It works when you're just trying to have a fist fight.
Well,
if ass whoopings work, why I can't whoop them people ass?
So the rebuttal behind that would be if it's good for a man to whoop a woman like that, then it should be good for a woman to do the same, right? If you get out, correct?
Sir, they already whoop our ass, and we're supposed to just take it. I don't know how many relationships that you've been in where you've been abused, but I've been in several. We're supposed to just take it.
Now you know good and well you're not supposed to take any type of abuse from any person, especially if you defended yourself.
Bullshit. That's what we're told.
But that's
We're
because
told
you
we're
was
stronger. We're not supposed to hit women. From the time we're kids, hitting a woman is no. Yeah, I know that's what we were taught, but were women taught not to put their hands on men because men are bigger, stronger, faster?
mm-hmm.
Because we can get. I remember being slapped in the middle of the strip club by my fiance in front of everybody. And I couldn't do shit. Because if I did, I would have been the bad guy. Even though everybody saw her haul back and smack the shit out of me.
You might have deserved it.
See, there you go. And Joyce, and there you go. Joy, I might have deserved
Oh
it.
man.
So as Kevin Samuel said, sometimes when your wife is talking too much shit, she might have deserved to get her ass smacked. Not advocating violence, but you just heard from the mouth of a woman how they think. So I ain't mad at my guy for saying this shit. And we got to be real. That's how men handled their women back in the day. Archie Bunker, y'all remember Archie Bunker? We ain't got to go back too far. We can just go back to the Archie Bunker days. 50 Cent said it. Bitch, get out of line. She needs some discipline. So this is not a new concept. Pimps whoop hoes all day. She ain't out here trying to stop no pimp.
Well, which all that deal with you on the patriarchal belief though, and that's the issue.
I'm with the patriarchal system, but with any system, it's not perfect. Everything needs tweaking, and each person, each family, each individual is supposed to do what's best for them. Now, again, I'm not advocating domestic violence, but if you listen to how women think, you can't be mad at this man for saying this shit. Because you just heard a woman say, maybe he deserved it. When do women ever ask, when they hear a man hit a woman, do they say, well, maybe she deserved it? When do you ever hear a woman say that?
So I want to know if women will actually co-sign to this. Well, just like with Kevin Samuel, he was talking about yeah, she agreed to this, and then one the safe word is whatever you say, banana pudding, whatever. What one will actually agree to being, as he say, domestically disciplined like that?
If you understand the person that you're dealing with, it should never get that far. If y'all got to understand it, she knows her role, it should never get that far. Remember I said, with all these situations, people have to apply what works best for them. But we're not going to sit here and act like that shit doesn't happen on both sides. There are couples that straight up fist fight and love the hell out of each other.
Yeah, that's true
Part
too.
of their
But
relationship.
their relationship is considered toxic by the community, but it's not considered
It's not
toxic to
toxic
them.
to them. They've been dealing with it for 15 years. It works for them. That's what I'm saying. We try to put everybody. That's why I said each individual, each situation, they all have to decide what's best for them and stop looking to the world to define what the fuck is normal for them. Because I still challenge anybody that's in a relationship to show me a book where it says you have to be faithful. I'm waiting. This is just some shit niggas made up. Niggas or female, somebody made this shit up, but you can't prove that that's that. But all of us walk around feeling like you have to be monogamous when you're in a relationship. But nowhere can they prove it says this. And these same people believe in the Bible, and they see all the kings and even the regular niggas had multiple wives.
Yeah, Miss Faith said that's not true, Money Boy.
Don't wow me, Miss Faith. What's not true, Miss Faith? What's not true, Miss Faith? Miss Faith, I'm on one today. What's not true? I got time today. I'm answering all questions. What's not true?
Hey, Joel. Well, how do you feel about this?
I'm listening. I don't know. That was Kevin, right? That was speaking about this. Everybody's got the right to their opinion. I don't agree with it, but
Joy, do you believe whooping your kids' ass makes them obey?
I don't. That's the point. I don't discipline my children like that.
But at one point, did you have that belief? I had that belief.
And we grew up like that.
Yeah, I stopped doing it about 7 years ago.
But putting your hands on another adult human being that
Ma'am, if it works for a child that don't know no better, that's still learning everything, why can't you do it to a 37-year-old motherfucker?
because you can walk away from a 37-year-old.
Your kid is helpless and you choose to whoop their ass.
Well, I don't. That's the point.
Well,
I
I'm
didn't
talking
say
people, not you, people. Don't take it personal now, people.
that's a totally different thing.
It's not. It's crazy that we would inflict harm on a kid, but when it comes to an adult, we say, no, you ain't supposed
But
to
you
do
put
that.
yourself in that position with those adults. You have to discipline your child so that they can be law-abiding citizens.
The kid,
and I'm not saying whoop them, but you can discipline them.
The kid forced them. The kid didn't ask to be here. Y'all brought the kid here, and then you decide I'm gonna whoop this kid ass when it don't do what I say. But when when it comes to a complete stranger that I didn't birth, that I have no blood ties or relationships to, I can't whoop their ass when they don't do what I say.
No, walk
they
away.
being disobedient too.
But you also teach your children that putting your hands on somebody don't solve problems.
I make it hard though. I make it hard because you like this nigga got a point. Why I can?
I didn't say you had a point.
No, I'm just saying.
You make yourself have a
no,
point.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking to everybody. I make it hard because we can whoop a defenseless child's ass, but we can't whoop an adult's ass.
And once again, for disclaimer purposes, Urban, I do not discipline my children by putting my hands on them. So you can keep saying that out loud
I ain't
like
talking
that,
about you.
but it's still,
I'm saying in
everybody
general.
doesn't do that.
Man, I don't whoop my kids' ass
hey,
either. But in the black community,
money boy, to be honest with you, I don't put my hands on my children either.
I don't either, but we know in the black community, we laugh at white people saying maybe if you had to whoop your kid's ass, this wouldn't have happened. We laugh at them for putting their kids in time out and talking to their kids.
And that's what I do.
That's why I said don't take it personal, but we all are black and we came up getting our ass whooped. My mama ridiculed me when I told her I wasn't whooping my kid's ass no more. And she ridiculed me, but I had to point out, you whooped me and my brother's ass. So that means you had 100% chance of seeing if your way worked or not. And the shit you tried to keep us from, we still did. So it doesn't work.
And that's why I don't whip my kids, because I was spanked as a child. And that's why I don't believe in domestic violence, because if I have to put my hands on an adult, I don't need to be around that adult. And I know how to redirect myself away from that person.
I agree. I definitely agree, but I was just pointing out how this Golden Jones, the lady who's saying he's advocating domestic violence, she probably believes in whooping her kid's ass. And I'm saying a kid is helpless and defenseless. They didn't ask to be here. And you can beat the hell out of them. Even Kevin Samuel said back in the day, if Mr. Robbie found out you was doing something, Mr. Robbie got to beat your ass. Then you went home and got your ass beat again. We talking about kids.
Well, I missed that phase in life. That was before me.
No,
I'm not gonna lie. My mom.
I grew up in the community.
I had a neighbor that put their hands on me, and my mom went around that corner and whooped her ass. So.
Yeah, my mom was like that too. My mom was more like, "Tell me what my kid did, I handle it, but don't you touch my kid."
Right. Shit out that lady.
But there's community. I'm not against the community shit. It works. It's proven that it's worked. When you got more adults when you have more adults caring for the community is better. Kids can't get away with a lot of fuck shit because they know all the adults are watching them and will tell. And if it's bad enough, that adult will handle you themselves. I'm on the phone that he sent it to me on.
Okay, never mind.
Hold on. Urban, hold on. Urban, I'm about to text you from my other phone. Send me the link so I can give it to Faith.
Oh, I just put it out there.
Oh, you dropped it in the chat?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I dropped it in the chat.
Again, this was I just have to come up and play devil's advocate. I'm not for
I see.
But I'm saying but we the black community though that says whooping your kid. That's all I'm trying to point out. Kids are defenseless. We saying it's okay to beat a kid ass if they don't tell us, But this grown motherfucker who I'm taking care of, she can talk back, she can disobey me, do what the fuck she want, and I can't whoop her ass. How is that fair? And then on the same token, I'm taking care of this woman. She disobeying, doing all that. She can fight me, and I ain't supposed to do shit.
Yeah,
I'm
but
supposed to be the bigger person and walk away.
yeah, your whole premises, that's the whole point of domestic violence in a relationship, though, because you start off by slapping your woman. They you know how I women, black women are. They're strong. They're not gonna take a man putting their hands on them. They're gonna fight back. They're not gonna say yes, Zaddy, and let you just do it.
Yes, Daddy.
I'm just saying.
So
But
I like,
that's the whole premises of Miss Goldie Jones' argument is that he's promoting domestic violence,
but
and
what,
that
what
clip
I'm
that I
saying,
showed, they clearly showing that he's promoting it.
what I'm saying is, Miss Goldie Jones, there are people in your real community like pimps and drug dealers and rappers that are whooping they women daily and glorifying it. Like, why are you going after Kevin Samuels? You can find women in your city every day walking down the street selling pussy, taking
Ooh,
the money back to
Jesus
their pimp.
Louise.
You can actually see these people. It's real to you, but you ignore them and go after a nigga online. And then I still have to point out, if I go back far enough and look, she is probably a proponent of whooping kids' ass. If we can whoop kids, that's what I'm saying. Kids are defenseless, they're helpless, they're kids. We're molding them. It's okay to whoop them, but not to whoop an adult. It don't make sense. Not coming from black people that say whoop your kids' ass is okay. Everybody ass should be on the table if we can whoop kids' ass. If I can whoop a 2-year-old's ass, why can't I whoop a 37-year-old's ass?
And
Hello, Miss Faith.
hello, Miss Faith, how you doing?
Well, hello. How y'all doing?
Hey, babe.
First of all, very good conversation. Shout out to you for that because it's much needed, and we do need to talk about it as grown adults. And we have to understand that we've seen a lot of things when we was growing up. Can y'all hear me? Or is
Yeah,
it
we
my
hear you
earphone?
good.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
So we got to understand that a lot of things that we seen when we was growing up, from our parents or our uncles and aunts or relatives, we seen a lot of things and we started trying to live that type of life because we thought it was the right thing to do. And we got to understand that a lot of things happen in the old days, or, we can go on and on with that topic as well. But these days and times, we need to take in consideration that once we in a relationship, then we respecting each other. Yes, sometimes it can get heated. Sometimes it have got heated before it's actually taking your physical hand and bringing bodily harm to me because upset, or in case of a woman being upset, they're putting their hands on a man. I don't think that that's right. I don't think that it's right for a man to put his hands on a woman or women. And I don't think it's right for a woman or women to put their hands on a man because we have seen this several times. It's a lot of women feel like that it's okay after they get through talking that they go charging at that man. And then we have seen it also where there's, a lot of men that has a lot of anger issues for certain things that has happened or other women that did this and that, and that animosity and that boundary that he's crossing with the other woman, a lot of those things get took out on her as well. So when you in a relationship and you meeting someone, your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions is really telling that woman, why you dating her and why you with her, things that you will accept and things that you won't accept. And we have to understand that we have to accept that woman for, who she are and the respect level that she had within herself and the way that she would raise her kids, her girls, her boys, compared to the things that you are saying when it comes to a man. And we got to understand that we got some mans out here that has daughters as well. So this is my thing. If you don't want nobody to put their hands on your mother, your sister, your daughter, then that's the same way other people feel about their family as well. Okay. Same thing when it comes to a woman. If you don't want anyone to put their hands on your son, your daddy, your uncles, or whatever, then you shouldn't put your hands on another man. So that's how I feel about that hands on, because that's a hands on thing to me. That's a hands on thing that we can't even be grown adults to even sit down and talk about it, or it gets so heated that we can't even walk away. Because see, once it get heated, then we're starting to say things that's hurtful, things that she trusts you to, trust you in some situations that may have occurred with her. Or he trusts you because things that happened to him in a relationship with his baby mama or his ex-wife or whatever the case may be, that he even shared with you. And then that's when the hurtful things start flying across the room. And then everybody started getting heated. And at that moment, it's over. It's like it was war then. So we have to discipline ourselves to understand that women are not property. Okay. Men are not property. They are human beings and they should be treated like a man. And for as women, we are women and we should be treated like a woman. Now, if you was a woman when you was dating me, and if you were a woman when you was getting my cookie, and you was a woman when everything was good to you at that time, when it get heated, I shouldn't be all types of bitches, and excuse my French, but I have to keep it real. I shouldn't be all types of B's and H's, and then you want to bring up things that I have personally took out time to tell you, that situations that I have been hurt in, and you want to use that against me, or we know some hurtful situations when it came to that man, and we want to use that against them at that time. And it's not right. But we find these days and times that is real. It happens in a lot of relationships, and we're not even talking about marriages. Basically, we're talking about relationships, building a relationship, trusting again, knowing that you have already been hurt before, bringing old things into a new relationship that shouldn't even come up at all. Whatever you are building with another woman or you building with another man, it shouldn't be brought in like a new bottle of wine. You're pouring toxic, thinking ability level, toxic levels into a new bottle of wine that ain't got nothing to do with her, ain't got nothing to do with him. And we find a lot of relationships that do that constantly all the time. And right there, it started breaking down the relationship, because women, we detail creatures, and we start thinking, well, I remember when you said this, or I remember when that happened, and we start thinking and we start holding things back. And sometimes you find women that can't express the way they really feel because they don't want you to get so defensive. But I trust you, I love you, and I'm trying to tell you how I feel, but you're not understanding me as I'm sitting down talking to you in this calm voice. But then when we get in the heat of the moment and we get to hollering and stuff, then that's when you want to listen. You can't say you ain't listening because you responding to everything that I'm saying to you. Or you find some women that we responding to everything that they're saying in the heat of the moment. So while we don't have enough discipline within ourselves as grown people, grown adults, not children, okay, but grown adults, to even talk about it or walk away when it gets so heated, so we won't say anything that's hurtful that can damage the relationship with that individual.
Man, Faith preaching so hard. I think you need to put up the adult language disclaimer. She cutting up.
Hold on, I got you. Let, let me do this real quick. Bam.
See, man, Faith, I thought you was gonna, I thought you were gonna come up and get at me, but Faith, you reinforcing it like shit. Motherfuckers need to keep their hands to themselves.
Uh,
You can't
hey,
control another person. That's
Hey,
why I
hey,
brought up
Trey.
the point about the kids. I was actually subliminally putting out there. You do realize we beating helpless people. Kids are helpless. They can't fight back. We saying we can whoop a kid ass, but not an adult.
But we do have to realize that. And then when it comes to our kids, we have to realize somebody's texting me, I'm sorry. We have to realize too that we want the best for our kids and we don't want to whoop our kids. There's other discipline that we can do for is putting our hands on our kids every time that they do something wrong. You
Yeah.
know, I never did whoop my kids every time they did something wrong. When it comes to my grandbabies, I don't whoop them every time they do something wrong. I know for a fact what they like. You understand what I'm saying? So it's different things that we can do for is actually putting our hands on our kids because we don't want our kids to grow up feeling like my mama whooped me all the time or my daddy whooped me all the time or everything I do he criticized me, everything I do she criticized me. We don't want our kids to grow up the way we growed up and we seen some things and we could have been in the best houses, we could have been in the best environment, but it's what we took in. And that's why I always say don't allow your past to dictate your present. Don't allow things that you didn't seen and you didn't engage in and things like that to dictate your present where you'll be damaged or criticized thinking of things that I thought my uncle was doing something because he was pimping 3 and 4 women. I thought my auntie was doing something because she was gambling and running the streets and she had the streets sold up. These are a lot of things that people take in consideration because back then it wasn't no filters. Okay, they did what they want to do, how they want to do, and everything. But then we took in consideration of things that we saw. We took in consideration of things that we heard, and guess what? Regardless of the fact we did take in consideration of some of those things and we carry some of those things into our adult life. So once we became an adult, we have choices to make. Whether they're good or bad, we still gonna live with the consequences, okay? So we have to take in consideration of these are the things that I encountered or I took in, but I see that I don't need to use none of this that I thought would benefit my life as an adult. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off, and this is the way I'm gonna live according to my standards, according to what I want for my family and my kids, not what my mama want, not what my daddy want, not what my uncle and auntie want, none of that. We need to understand that we are human and we live according to how we raise our own kids. It ain't got nothing to do with no in-laws. It ain't got nothing to do with our family. It has something to do with you.
Yeah, everything you're saying, and I totally agree with you, Faith. But at the same time, there are men and women out there right now that feel that the correct thing to do is to simply follow this the old way. And we see where the old way is getting us. So it's causing separation in relationships and everything.
Wait a minute, sir. Is it the old way that's causing separation or the new way that we got?
No, people subscribing
We
to the
still
old way,
were
the old
we
patriarchy way.
we still in the night. What was wrong with the 90s?
It's
It
been
wasn't until about 2010 where we became liberal as hell and shit started changing for the worse.
I don't think so. I think that it's been going on for a long time. We just didn't know exactly what was going on in the household at that time. I think because if you really think about it, there's a lot of stories that I'm sure that, our in-laws can tell you, yeah, I dated your cousin and I didn't even know that, he was your cousin until I found out long down the line that, what I'm saying, he was some kin to me, but then he was the one that was whipping my butt, but the other cousin wasn't. It's a lot of things that took place a long time ago, but to be honest with you, it's both of them. But right now, if we really sit back and look at it, it's more today than ever before.
Oh Lord, y'all, Mad Milton that came on here, and I know he's very mad.
Oh no, actually, I'm chilling.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's going on, yo?
Hey, what's going on?
Chilling,
What,
chilling, chilling. Listening to the
Matt
call.
Militant, you don't got your referee shirt on today?
Man, I just want to say you wrong. You ain't said nothing yet, but you wrong, man. You wrong.
Oh my
I,
goodness.
I spoke last night, by the way, man. I think we was on for what was about 3-4 hours last night. But
I missed
We
it.
had date night last night, so we stayed away from the internet world.
hey, check out the replay, man, especially towards the end, man.
Where were y'all at?
Up here.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. I'm saying
Oh,
we
okay.
didn't. We stayed away from the internet world yesterday. We
Man,
had
man,
date night. We
man,
were watching Lucifer.
you left me to joke that fat girl by myself, man. That joke was funny.
But I'm gonna get
Yeah,
down.
he was looking for you too, Money Boy, to say something. He like, man, Money Boy Trey left me by myself.
Man, I had no idea. They said we cut the outside world off and we were engaged in each other.
Hey, ain't nothing
Oh,
wrong with
ain't
that.
that so sweet?
But thank you, therapist. Shout out to everybody on the panel. I got to jump down. I
Yeah,
just wanted to jump up here and say this.
Thank you for your
I gotta get
insight,
ready to end
Face.
the show too, because I gotta
You
get back
welcome,
to work.
money boy.
Hey, I appreciate it,
Thank you,
Faith.
Faith.
Thank y'all. See y'all. Talk to y'all later.
All right.
Oh, I'm typing in the chat. Uh, Urban, the patriarchal society has worked since biblical days, and I'm an atheist saying this. Since the beginning of time, it's always been man, woman, child. The man was the leader, the woman was the helpmate. Although nowadays, if you say helpmate, it feels like it's slighting a woman, but we're still the same people. We feel like it's a slight by saying she's a helpmate, but then we'll turn around and say, behind every good man, there's a great woman, which means she's still the fucking helpmate. She enhances everything that man has going on.
Hey, before I address that, let me address Miss V. Miss V, go to the beginning of this video. You'll see the whole premises of what I'm talking about Kevin Samuels.
Well,
Now,
but
now
Miss
to
V,
now to
Miss V, Kevin Samuels is human, so he's not perfect. He does have his flaws. And again, I'm not a Kevin Samuels fan, but I don't agree with this woman bypassing all the shit that she actually sees in her community to go at a nigga online. It's real convenient to go at a nigga on YouTube, someone
mhm.
you'll never meet. You ain't got to see Kevin Samuels, but you can go find a pimp or a drug dealer in your city every fucking day, and she wants to bypass him.
Yep. I mean,
That's
yeah, I agree with that
that's sort of like
because
the
it's
conversation me and the doc was having.
yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Instead of her attacking the actual issue, like for us attacking the manosphere or anything like that, she decided to attack this individual person, and that's an issue that I have with too, and I express that.
She won't attack the Bible. The Bible condones whooping your wife's ass.
Now, now for us
It
the
does.
hey, I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
No,
I'm not
I'm
disagreeing.
saying, but she won't point out the Bible. She'll go at a nigga on YouTube.
Now, for us, the patriarchal system, I'm talking about the system in the Western culture, this particular system that they was
Sir,
using. I'm not talking
he
about the one prior before that, because even when the white supremacists was using this particular patriarchal system, our ancestors had their own separate patriarchal system that they was using, and it was very effective
in the
until they
ancestors.
start conforming into the white patriarchal system, and that's where the mess relies
The
at in the black community.
I don't think there's a difference between the black one and the white one because you still practice the patriarchal system. It's man, woman, and child in your house. It's you, your wife, then your kids. And you use the patriarchal system to make sure that you, as the man, no matter what the situation, is making sure that you have influence over that man, woman, and child. So whether you and your first wife ended, you still have influence to where you're using the patriarchal system to raise your kids in that situation when y'all split up.
Yep, touche. Miss Faye say you need to provide
Miss Faith,
chapter,
just
script,
Google
and
it.
verse of that.
You can just Google you can Google domestic violence in the Bible or men, why husband beating their wives in the Bible. God he don't say it's a sin. He put a whole bunch of shit out there that's a sin. That's not one of them. Eating unleavened bread is a sin, but not beating your wife's ass. He told the wives to obey, respect, and all of that stuff, did he not? He gave the husband dominion over the wives, did he not? He let the
I
husbands
ain't knocking
take
it.
several wives, did he not?
I ain't knocking it at all. But hey, I got to get ready to get off y'all. I know who's this Professor Oz, he wanted to come on here, but I got to get ready to go. So real quick, y'all shout out y'all channels and stuff. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of this later on today. What do y'all think?
Yeah, we with it. Do part 2. Tell Mr. Whoever to be looking for part 2. And y'all
Yep,
people
yep,
on Facebook, stop being hard-headed. Come on over here to help this man's channel grow. And that's where the
absolutely.
real conversation is going on anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Professor Oz. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a part 2 of this today, and we'll dive even deeper to this, especially since Money Boy jumping into biblical concepts, even though he's an atheist. So the conversation gonna be pretty interesting. All right.
I'm pretty much an atheist too, so I'm on his side. So yeah. Man, you turned this into a nice little hangout for great conversations, though.
Yeah, for
Hey,
sure, for sure.
yeah,
That's what I try to do, bro.
Facebook definitely need to come over and join the party. You know, I shut down my Facebook, man, because of the things they do. It's the
Yeah,
same thing
yeah,
going over here, but it's a little bit more freedom.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree to that. Bye, everybody. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Until I say I gotta go, I gotta get back to work, fly back into this system. Unfortunately.
All right. Bye, Urban. Thank you for letting me up as well.
Oh, you're welcome, Miss Joy. Take care of my boy, Money Boy. Keep him in line.
Too much info. I got to
Wait,
go.
wait. Well, you are not gonna get away with that, sir. What do you mean by this?
I'm out.
Hey, we out, y'all.
Peace.